Welcome back from the commercial break. So this week we are just going to bring a little light levity.
Yes.
And we're talking about what was old is new. This is
Y'all done.
kind of crazy. Keon,
It's
listen,
kind of crazy.
I was walking down the street and I wasn't walking. I was driving down the street and this child was walking. And literally she had on, I kid you not, an outfit I wore to 8th grade.
Did you like almost crash your car?
That black jacket, windbreaker. Like
It's
all of
crazy.
this stuff is coming back. We should
I
have
know.
kept our things.
We had no idea. I had no idea. Like I had some of the coolest stuff. Well, in the 80s, I thought it was cool. But
Right?
who knew that in 2021 that we were
Right.
going to be like, oh, that's cool again.
Right?
I
Yeah,
mean, the jeans that they're wearing, our
girl.
stonewash kind of look. That's
Yes.
in the sweaters. Like I call it the Cosby Show sweaters because everybody
Yeah.
wore sweaters on the Cosby Show. That is like hip now, the sweaters. I mean, you
No.
know what else is really funny? That back when we were kids, like you didn't really talk about it if you shopped at thrift stores, right? Because that was like,
Right. No, now they proud, loud and proud.
girl, I was at the thrift store recently. All the young people that are in there shopping blows my mind. I'm like, what are you doing in here? I mean, and they're young, like teenage. I've seen teenage boys in the thrift store shopping, and I'm like, what is going
What is
on?
happening?
What is
Yes.
happening? I'm telling you, girl,
Oh,
what was old is new.
I know they're bringing all the things back. Now, here's something. What do you think about the new Equalizer?
Okay, so I have not watched it yet, but when I saw the previews during the Super Bowl of my girl, Queen Latifah, coming back as the equal, I was like, girl, equalize it.
Right? I'm so
My
excited.
mother watched The Equalizer. That was like her
Really?
show. That was her jam. She loved The Equalizer, girl. She loved it. My mom used to watch it religiously every single week.
Right?
So I think she would be like tickled pink by the fact that they are bringing that show back.
Like, I am here for the woman empowerment. I'm here for the fierceness. Like, we need a female character that handles her own business by
Yes.
herself and takes care of her community. Like, I'm so excited. And Queen Latifah is fierce.
Yes,
Like,
I have to watch it. I have not watched it, but I definitely want to watch it because when I saw the previews, I was like, oh, first of all, it's the queen. You can't go wrong there. I'm just saying.
oh my goodness. Yes. I
That is
know.
amazing to me. Even the shows and the movies that they're remaking that you're like, didn't we do that one already?
I know. We
Wasn't
had that.
that show out before? Now
Well,
we
maybe
got
they're
it
gonna
back
make it
again.
better. Maybe they're gonna make it
Maybe they
better.
can make it better. I
Like,
mean,
I'm excited about the
I
spin
like
with
it
Queen
because it's
Latifah.
reminiscent. It's very that whole like reminiscing of the
Right.
old times. Like
Here's
that
what
is
I'm
what I like.
excited about. Coming to America 2. I am hoping and praying they do a good job.
I
Please,
know
y'all,
because
do a good job.
sometimes when you have that long of a break and then you bring back the sequel,
Yeah, I know.
you be
I know.
like, y'all kind
I
of
know.
missed it a
But
little
I'm
bit.
like, come on, y'all. Because Coming to America,
It's a
that
funny movie.
hilarious. Like, in a
The
time
Jerry
where,
Curl guy? Oh
girl,
girl.
let your soul glow.
Oh
Girl,
my gosh.
so funny. Like, we did not have like iconic black movies like that where it was just hilarious, celebrating black culture, its
Yes.
connection to the continent of Africa, like,
Yes.
and obviously now we have Wakanda, which is like, coming to America to
On
the end,
steroids.
right? Like, with Queen Mother and all.
Right?
But
Oh my
to bring
gosh.
it back to now, like, I think, oh my
I
goodness.
think what's been funny too is like if you've been watching WandaVision, spoiler, if you are a WandaVision watcher but you haven't started watching the series yet, turn this off then because I'm about to
Yeah,
just give you a little bit
exactly.
spoiler.
Go binge on Netflix and then come back.
Yeah,
Or Hulu or whoever you see. I don't know.
whatever.
Disney
I
Plus.
like how they've been going through the decades.
I
and
know. Have
and
you
making
been
it like to
guessing?
show, yes, and making it like the shows from that time,
Yes.
that has been hilarious. Like that, I've been like, oh, I'm loving this. Like the
Right.
80s when they were like in the unitards, the
Right.
leotards and stuff, and I was like, oh no, that is so 80s, so 80s. And the
Right.
little side ponytails and stuff, I was like, yes, so
Yeah.
80s. So I
Really
think
funny.
that's been really interesting to see that evolve. But it's so weird, the stuff that was old that's now coming back, like the remakes, and you're like you'll see something, you'll be like, that was out back when I was 10 years old. Like that's they doing that again?
Well, but that's the other interesting thing that's so different about our kids' generation that we
Yeah,
didn't really have the opportunity to is they literally can binge watch what we
I
watched, right?
know.
Like if our parents were watching something old on the reruns, we might be able to sit and watch it. Like my dad used to love Bonanza. Oh my goodness. So, and even though it wasn't really like my generation of things, I
Right,
watched it because my dad would watch the reruns. But our
right.
kids have the ability not just to watch it, but to watch probably sometimes more than what we watch because we didn't catch, you know what I mean?
Everything.
Had the soccer practice, so we couldn't catch that 1 week show or
Right?
whatever,
Exactly.
which is
Exactly.
so interesting for our kids to have such a huge lexicon of entertainment.
Because we could go back. I mean, you can find it somewhere on the web, y'all. You
Yes,
can
yes.
watch Martin, right? You can go back and watch Little House on the Prairie.
Right.
You
Oh,
can
I
go
loved
back.
Little House on Prairie when I
Girl,
was a
so did
kid.
I. Mork and Mindy.
Oh
That
my
was my show.
gosh,
I
Mork
loved
and
Mork and Mindy.
Mindy.
I loved Mork and Mindy. Girl, don't laugh. I loved Mork and Mindy.
I know.
Nano
You know what's
Nano.
so funny? My daughter has been binge watching, which is so funny because I loved it as a kid. Is Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman? Did you
Oh,
ever
I
watch
remember
that?
that. I think I did watch that for a little bit.
It's so funny watching her watch it and like, be in love and be like, oh my gosh, is she gonna marry Sully and all the things? Um,
Yes,
but it's just
exactly.
so funny. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that.
I'm all for it. Sometimes I get a hankering to watch some of the old stuff. Like it's like I would love to go back and watch Charlie's Angels, like
Oh my gosh.
the Farrah Fawcett Feather. Oh, girl, some of that stuff. And I was a big Wonder Woman fan.
Oh yes.
I would love to watch Wonder Woman. I don't know if y'all go back this far because I'm gonna date myself. The Bionic Woman
Oh, the
and the six
Bionic Woman.
million
I
dollar
loved her.
man
She was the best.
and the $6 million man. Girl, if I can find that somewhere, y'all tell me where it's at because I will watch it. I was a huge Joni Summers fan. I remember there was an episode where they made you believe she died.
Oh
Jumped and and the
yes.
episode ended and my dad walked in and I was sitting in the living room bawling, bawling.
Well,
And
and
my
that's where you
dad
have
said,
to
"What
be
is
patient.
wrong?" And I said, "Joni Summers is dead." And he said, "Oh my gosh." Let me tell y'all, I was devastated. How could you kill the bionic woman?
Right? Like she
And then the next
bionic. She can't
episode, she
die.
was back.
Right.
You remember those shows? There's something about it that is
Right.
nostalgic. When you think about it, it creates this happiness in you. So
Right.
sometimes bringing back what was old to the new, it has this feeling that it gives you, this kind of fun feeling. It takes you back to being a kid. Like, girl,
Yes.
I have a denim jacket that I've had since 7th grade.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, my daughter, I've kind of passed it down to my daughter,
Hmm.
but I decorated this jacket myself and sewed patches and stuff onto it
Oh
and
my
decorative
goodness.
stuff. Yes.
Yes.
And girl, is acid wash. It's an acid wash jacket. It's
It was.
clearly,
Oh my God.
clearly from the 80s. You will not miss it. You will look at that and be like, oh, do they
I
even sell that
know.
kind of denim anymore?
Or even what is so interesting, like scrunchies are back.
Oh yeah, scrunchies are a thing.
Like, and I'm like, it used to.
I
I
think I
remember.
saw a banana clip somewhere.
Oh, I loved a banana clip
I had me
now.
some banana clips, girl.
I loved a banana clip, and then you would curl your little hair just like that. Yeah.
Yes! Just about to say that. Oh my
Yes. Oh,
gosh.
I remember my mom got me my first curling iron. Girl, I done burnt the crispy critters out of my the ends of my hair. I am sure of it.
Oh my
But
gosh.
oh my gosh, yes, you get the banana clip, you got your little side swoop, a little bit of hair out here,
Mm-hmm.
side swoop
Mm-hmm.
with the spiral curl, and then you bump.
Your little curls in your banana clip.
Yes. Oh, on the
It's like
bottom.
funny. I think at one point recently, I was like, I had been watching 90210, Beverly Hills 90210,
Oh,
and my daughter was like,
what is
"This
that?
is kind of weird, like the acting." And I was like, "Yeah, so the acting wasn't the best, but it's the storylines, people, and it was Luke Perry. Let's just be
I know.
honest."
Oh my gosh. Do you remember? Okay, it was in college when Melrose Place came out. Girl,
Yes.
we what I think it was Tuesday night. Was it Tuesday night or Thursday night? I can't remember. But there was only like one big screen TV in the rec room for the whole
Oh.
dorm, right? And some people had TVs in their room, but girl, you know, I was broke, so and Mr. Jefferson was not paying for a TV in my room. Like that was what he was not
He was
going.
like, "Figure it out."
So it was like all the girls
Sitting
like
in
took
there.
over the whole literally, and the guys would be like, "You guys, you're taking TV." We'd be like, "Shh."
Watching Melrose Place. Shush it. Oh my God, I so remember Melrose Place. I used to watch that show too. I did. I did. I think some of that stuff, when they bring it back, it's kind of cool because I don't know. But the hard part is when they bring it back and it's not the same.
No, or
So,
not good.
my mom used to watch, what was it with Dynasty?
Okay.
I loved Dynasty. Now, I'm going to admit, in the last 3 years or so, I went back and watched Dynasty,
Did
the
you?
entire series, the old ones with the poofy, like
Yes.
80s dresses. And it's like, where are you wearing that to on a daily? What the heck? Anyway, but and with the diamonds dripping and
Yes.
you know, and I watched it. And then I've watched some episodes of the new one. It ain't the
Mhm.
same. It's not the
Oh,
same.
really?
It's really not the same. It's kind of different. I mean, the drama of the old dynasty, when every episode ends in a
A close up of that shocked
you know,
face.
the 80s slap, you
Oh,
know,
yes, yes.
the 80s girl fights where you're like, oh my God, they ain't
Yeah,
really
really.
fighting.
Come on, y'all. Somebody punch somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Knock her out. But it was funny watching it because I was sitting there going like, the acting was a little crazy, like the storyline's a little bit. He's like, why don't you just tell her to shut up? Like, really?
Right?
Why are
Just
we just sitting
hush.
there listening to this nonsense? It's funny. It's really funny.
Girl, or
Really
just get
funny.
up and leave the room. That's the thing for me.
Yeah.
Like with all those things, like, why do you have to
Deuces.
continue engaging with the
Yeah.
person?
Bye.
Yeah, do
Bye. Bye, Felicia.
oh my
I
goodness.
know. Some
I
of that
know.
fashion that's coming back, though, I'm like, man,
I
we would have
know.
been, our kids would have been hooked up if we had saved our stuff.
I know. Like that's the thing that's just so funny. Or even some of the silhouettes, like I'm like, are y'all about to start putting shoulder pads back and stuff?
Girl, I had a set of shoulder pads that I would
Oh,
put in everything and be like,
oh
oh,
yes,
time for
because you
shoulder.
had to be. Yes.
I have a picture somewhere of me, and I'm pretty sure this was in the 90s. So, biker shorts, remember when biker shorts were a thing?
Yes.
So,
Yep.
there's a picture of me. I had a pair of white biker shorts on
Ooh.
with this like goldenrod color t-shirt that was a V-neck. I had the sleeves rolled, and I had shoulder pads in my t-shirt.
You were looking good.
Girl,
Couldn't
don't
tell
tell
you
me I
nothing.
wasn't.
I know. I
Or the
know.
jellies. Do you remember the jellies?
Oh my goodness. I wanted some jellies so
I had jellies. Your
badly.
feet stank. They
My
stank and they
mom
were
said
sweating. And
no.
then you had that stupid little tan line on your foot, the waffle print, because from wearing them daggone jellies, girl. That was not the
I am
cutest of
telling
styles.
you, I wanted a pair of jellies so
Really.
badly. I begged and begged and begged my mother for jellies. The answer was no.
Well, let's do this. Let's find us some jellies for this summer.
You
There's
think they
got to
still
be
make
somewhere.
jellies?
Girl, we got to find them. Anybody out there know the black market on the jellies? Let us know.
I can finally have some jellies.
We about to go old school this summer, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Oh,
like certain songs, right? So when I hear Will Smith Summer, summer,
Oh,
summertime. Every summer I have
I,
to listen to that song like a million times because there's something about that song during the
I
summer.
know, I know.
That is like my summertime anthem.
Well, listen. Okay, speaking of old new, my son was showing me this new song. Do you know that this little boy has recovered Candy Rain? Oh, I don't know what the little boy's name is. I can't remember. Y'all, I got mommy brain. I can't remember. But my son was singing Candy Rain. I was like, what are you listening to? He was like,
Mm.
he said the little boy's name. I'm like, that's not who you're listening to. He was like, no, really. And I was like, play it back, play it back. And it was the exact same. They are recovering it. And I was like, oh, and then so here's the funniest thing, right? So he showed me his little clip. I was like, okay, so I'm on the Google
Uh-oh.
looking for the real deal, people. And I showed him and he was like, my version is better. I'm like, no, it is not.
That's called copying. It's not necessarily better. You can't be better than the original. No. As
Exactly.
if. As if.
Totes, right?
You better recognize. What?
So
Girl.
funny. Like, I was like, wait a minute.
No. I disagree. I didn't even hear it and I disagree. I'm just gonna disagree on principle. I'm
On
disagreeing.
principle. Exactly.
But you know, it was something about these older shows. Like if you go back and watch, let's put aside all the Cosby drama. The show
Yes.
itself, I
The show.
love
We
the
talking
show.
about the show.
And then when it spun off into It's a Different World.
Oh my girl, A Different World was my jam.
Than where you come from.
Oh, with Wayne and Whitney.
Hey,
Oh my
hey.
started watching it with my daughter because you know she's getting ready to go to school and everything to help her kind of think about going to college. Love it even more now.
Right?
Like hilarious, girl. What's her name? What's the girl with the curly hair? Oh, I love her.
The goofy one.
Yes. What
She's
is her
funny.
name?
I don't know, but I loved her. She was
Hilarious.
crazy.
Oh my gosh, I can't even
She
remember
was
the
always
actress's
all over
name.
the place.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And as much as you hated Whitley, you liked Whitley. Like there were
Yes.
episodes where you liked Whitley, but then there was episodes you were like, don't like her.
I can't do her.
I'm so glad she wasn't at my school.
Right, but in the end, you know, she turns out to be. We start rooting for her and Dwayne.
Yeah.
Girl, spoilers by the way.
Some of the even I'm gonna go really back.
Okay.
Fame.
Yes. I'm gonna
I swear,
live forever.
I wanted to go to a school of performing arts. I was like,
Yes.
I'm gonna learn how to fly high. I'm gonna make it. Oh
my goodness.
That was
Yes.
the show. I loved that show. Anything having, I'm still that way though. Anything having to do with singing or dancing. So all those movies, dance movies. I can't remember the string of like Bring It and
yes.
and then there's some other ones where it's like dance competitions, like this. Anything having to do with dancing, I will watch those movies. I know the storylines are stupid as heck, but if they're gonna dance and battle, and girl, I love them.
Yes.
I love anything having to do with that stuff. Hence why I loved. I'm going to tell y'all, I have a great love for this movie. My husband thinks I'm crazy. I also own the soundtrack. But Dirty Dancing
was a good movie.
I could watch that movie over and over and over again. And I have the soundtrack. I got the CD soundtrack, y'all. I could pop it in my car and be in the car talking about, I had the time of my life. That is
it's not great from a parent point of view, but
well, no. However, nobody puts baby in the corner, Claire.
Listen,
I've said that phrase at least twice this week, and my children were like, why?
Here's the funniest thing, though. I did watch that with my children. Girl, we obviously, coronavirus, we were watching all the things.
Yes.
My kid's perspective is hilarious.
Really?
When he said nobody puts baby in the corner, my son was like, I'm glad he said it and not me, because my parents would have smacked his face.
Right?
It's like, and Naomi's like, I cannot believe that they were that disrespectful of their parents. Like, I'm like, you're right.
Remember this.
That would not work in our family. Well, but that's what's so funny. Like, do you ever, like, I was like, oh, yeah, let's watch Dirty Dancing. And then you're starting to watch the show and you're like, ooh, I forgot about those themes. Oh, I forgot. Oh, they said that too. You're literally watching and thinking, like, oh. And then you realize, wait a minute, how was I so young? It was the same way when I watched Grease with my kids, right? Like, I was like, I
Oh,
love Grease. I love, love, love. It was my favorite.
yes.
When I was a kid, I literally, whenever it was on, a million times. And my parents would be like, please don't make us watch Grease. I'm like, please, I love Grease. And then I watched it with my daughter and I'm like, oh, oh no. Like, why are we rooting for Sandy to like fall into the debauchery and
Because it
smoke?
was John Travolta, girl. Okay, let's just be honest. The young John Travolta, yes. I'm just saying. It's
But you
like when
ever
you
had
watch,
those
okay,
experiences?
yes. So it's like, this is one of my other favorite movies, Pretty Woman.
Yeah, no.
Now, we all know we don't want our daughters walking the street. But I'm just going to say this. One, I had a huge crush on Richard Gere. I was like,
Did you?
girl, that's Richard Gere. And two, my favorite scene is when she goes back into that store where the people were rude and she goes, you work on
Yes.
commission, don't you? Big mistake. Big, huge. That. I live for that. That whole movie, I literally live for like a couple of scenes in that movie. I'm telling you. Like, but idealistically, no,
Yes.
I don't want my daughter to be a streetwalker and get rescued by some rich man who pays her to spend time with him. No, of course not. But it is a love story. To the core, it's a love story, people. Let's get past the other stuff. It is a love story.
Drop the setting.
It's a love story. Oh, it's a love story. I'm just
Oh my
saying.
goodness.
There are some great movies out there too that go back. Like, I mean, there's some that just make you laugh. Like, I think recently in the last 5, 10 years, I watched the movie Mannequin. Does anybody remember that movie?
Oh, I haven't thought about that
With
movie in
Andrew
such a long
McCarthy.
time.
Why did we think it was okay that he was in love with a mannequin
I know.
and
It's
talking to a
crazy.
mannequin and driving around with this mannequin and had a relationship with a mannequin? It made no sense.
Yeah, mental health intervention, please.
But when you watch it, you're like, oh, and you want to talk about 80s fashion, girl, that movie got it all in it.
Right?
The
Everything.
shoulder pads, the crazy
Check, check, check.
glasses, and everything. Check, check, check. Oh my God, moms. Thank you for spending time with us today and talking about what was old is now new.
Right?
That goes for us too.
Exactly. We knew again. We do. We knew.
Hi.
We hope you have an amazing week, mamas. I mean, we hope you have fun hanging out with us and that you
Yes.
just know that we absolutely love you.
Yes, we do. And just, when you go onto our social media, just drop us a little note. Like, what is something like from the 80s or back when you were a kid that you absolutely loved that maybe hasn't come back and you would like it to, or it has come back and you're all for it, or even like your favorite movie from the 80s or show? Like, share with us. We
Yes.
want to know because you might remember something we've forgotten. And now we need
Absolutely.
to rekindle that. This is going to be a fun week, y'all. Share it with us. Bye, moms.